Well, hello, folks. Hello, my name is Benjamin Z. Meller, and I am the president of Cork Real Estate Group. Cork Real Estate Group is a company that can pay you a long-term and growing passive income over many, many years through the magic of real estate investing in and around Cork, Ireland. In this video, I'm going to show how our program works, and you can find more information on our team. Just go to www.corkrealestategroup.com. All right, fantastic. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to do a brief legal disclaimer. The thing about this is, as accredited investors, you will be aware that all investments carry some level of risk. This investment is only available to investors who are able to assess their own appetite for risk. Please read the risk statement within the investment memorandum before investing. So it's important that you know that this is not a guaranteed investment. Okay, so Cork Real Estate Group Limited Partnership Interests, how exactly does that work and what the heck does that mean? Well, in a simple sense, we're going to buy assets in and around Cork, Ireland. We're going to buy about a minimum of 100 million in assets over the next few years. And then we are going to do this with partners where we're going to be the general partner. Now, the general partner is the one that knows what they're doing and that does all of the work. And the limited partners are the ones that have capital, and they like the idea of working with the general partner. So you get ownership of the assets, but you don't have to manage the asset. So that's how it works. And you get a preferred rate of return. We put our limited partners to the front of the line. We want them to get paid first. So we offer a preferred rate of return, and that is 7%. So you get a 7% preferred rate of return on the deals. And that's how it works. And the idea is we're going to acquire this real estate, and then we're not going to sell it. Everybody else is going to sell it. They're going to go flip. They're going to do. We're not going to do any of that. We're just going to hold on to it long term. So it's fantastic. Okay, so we target a 14.4% rate of return. Well, now some of you smart guys, you'll be thinking, well, that sounds great, 14.4%, but real estate doesn't average 14.4%. How are you going to do that? Well, it's actually quite simple. We're going to use some good old-fashioned negotiation. We're not going to buy these listed properties at 100% of market value. Let the other investors do that. We're going to go and do the hard work of finding our own leads, our own motivated sellers. We may knock on doors. We may make phone calls. We may send out postcards. We may have events. We may put out signs. We got a bunch of stuff we can do. And we have a network as well. So we're going to find deals. We are going to target doubling our limited partners' money in 5 years. 5 years is what we want. We want to double your money in 5 years. Now, that doesn't mean that you need to be exited in 5 years. Actually, the limited partnership interest will be liquid after 3 years. We've designed it that way. But 5 years is, if we're looking at a deal and we think, you know what, we can buy this deal and in 5 years we can double money, the odds are extremely high we're going to buy it. So that's how it works. So simple. And we do everything for you. We negotiate, we manage it. And then, you give us your bank information and we make distributions to you after we collect the rent and pay the expenses and et cetera. So very ideal situation. Very ideal situation. So you get a 7% preferred rate of return. You also, we allow investors to invest with us, assuming that you're an accredited investor, but we don't, we want to do business with you. So we don't put you through a bunch of unnecessary things. If you want to work with Cork Real Estate Group, we want to work with you. So yeah, we've got some paperwork. We're going to do it all correctly so that it complies. But that's your opportunity, where as long as we get a good feeling that you understand that this is not like we're going to go buy it and flip it. We don't do that flipping stuff. We don't like it. We don't like it at all. We like to do the buy it one time and then never let go of it. That is our favorite strategy. So we're going to buy in the price range of 1 million approximately. See, Cork Real Estate Group is not like these other companies where they fall in love with whatever criteria they make up. We are flexible. So let me explain. We want to target approximately 1 million or higher, just because it doesn't make sense to buy a lot of assets less than that. But what if we have a seller that has a package of assets? Maybe they've got 3 or 4 assets, and let's say that they've got, for example, one little house in Cork, Ireland that they want to sell, and then they've got some really desirable assets that are in, maybe one's in Dublin and one's in Cork, and those assets are over 1 million. It would be a big mistake to tell that seller, oh, we only buy assets over 1 million, and here's our criteria. And we're gonna say, well, listen, if you want to sell them all, we'll buy them all. That way, the seller has convenience. He can just sell everything. He doesn't have to hassle with any of it. We made his life easy. Now, if we got a bunch of assets that are not really what we think is good, yeah, those could potentially be sold. But the assets that we want, we're going to hang on to them. So, for example, if there was some house in Dublin, maybe we don't want that. We may not keep that, but we might buy it initially to make the transaction easy for the seller, because a lot of sellers, they value convenience. And they are so tired of hearing everyone lecture them about what the criteria is. They like to do business with people that solve problems instead of give them a spreadsheet on what their acquisition criteria are. So that's how Cork Real Estate Group works. And we are going to be out there. We're going to be growing rapidly like a rocket. We're going to be going all the way to the top, Cork Real Estate Group. Okay, so buy to let has become less popular, and that's understandable because most people aren't set up to do that. It takes a lot of, it may not be brain surgery. It may not be something where you're a dentist and you've got to go to all this school to learn all of this. But the thing about it is with buy to let, unless you're trained in that, unless you know all the processes, it can really be a headache. It's easier just to let Cork Real Estate Group do it for you. Okay, so how does this actually work? What do you mean what am I going to be a limited partner in? Well, folks, that's the best part. You get to decide. We don't force you into anything. It's your choice. What we do is we go out and we get a contract on an asset. We're going to sign a contract. We're going to buy that asset for 1.4 million, for example. Let's make it 1 million so the math's easier. We're going to buy that asset for 1 million. Okay, we will go and we will do all the due diligence. We sign a contract that we'll buy it. Then we're going to go to a lender, and we've got a specialist lender or two that just loves Cork Real Estate Group, and they are going to give us a loan. Of course, they want to see the red book value. They may want to see some things, but we give them all that. We work with them. So they'll loan, for example, 70% of the asset. That means we're going to borrow $700,000. So we've got $300,000 that we need to find. And that's where our limited partners come in. Cork Real Estate Group and our limited partners, we put together that $300,000. It would really actually be a little more than $300,000 because we're going to put reserves and contingencies so that there's plenty of money, because Cork Real Estate Group does not like running on short cash flow. Cork Real Estate Group likes fat bank accounts and lots of assets. So that's what we're going to do. And we'll do that, and we'll put together a beautiful presentation deck that shows some information on the asset. And then if you come in and we've developed a bit of a relationship, and Cork Real Estate Group and we know you, then we will call you, or we'll send you an email, or we'll let you know there's an asset, and you can subscribe. You can call up and say, hey, I want to do 50,000 euros on that one, or I want to do 100,000 euros, whatever it is you want. We write it down, we close it, and then that's it. And then at that point, you're making a preferred rate of return of 7%. You've got no headaches. I mean, heck, folks, it doesn't get much better than that. Cork Real Estate Group set this up for you that are a few years away from retirement. Maybe you're a dentist. Maybe you're 5 years away from retirement, and you're thinking to yourself, you know what? I really, really don't want to count on the sale of my practice, because I see a lot of dentists that they end up in a nightmare situation where they think that their practice is worth so much money because they paid some expert to go and appraise it. And then when they try to sell it in the real world, they're confronted by, oh my God, I can't sell it at those values that I thought I was going to have. Or even worse, they get the price they want, they take a down payment, and then that after a while, that buyer, that young dentist that bought their practice is not able to run it as well as the experienced dentist. And what do you think happens there? Bad things happen. Bad things happen to that golden retirement. Okay, so that's how that works. Cork Real Estate Group, if you're a CEO of a tech company, if you're a dentist, if you're some sort of an engineer, whatever you are, if you're just somebody that likes the idea of somebody else doing the work and making the money for you, and you like the idea of real estate, and you don't want to figure out all these complicated things, and you don't want to deal with it, you just want to get your mailbox money and enjoy your life, Cork Real Estate Group has a long-term solution for you. This is not, we're going to get your money and then we're going to rush and return it in 1 year because we flipped it. That's not for us. That's not for us. We don't want to flip things. We want to hold and let the magic of inflation and all the other things, all these forces work in our favor. So Cork Real Estate Group, and you can pick out the projects you want. The other advantage is once you make the wise decision to become an investor in Cork Real Estate Group, well, at that point, the world opens up because you are going to be in the Cork Real Estate Group Investor Network. You're going to get invited to the events where you can meet the other investors. You can meet me. You can meet the team. Oh, it is fantastic. And you can do deals with the other investors. You can meet great business contacts. So it's not just about investing in Cork Real Estate Group. You're making the decision to join the party. You are making the decision to join the party when you work with Cork Real Estate Group. So here is a graphic that shows how this works. We target 14.4%. And just to make it clear, we're buying the asset for below market value. And that's why we can do it. So why should you choose this? I mean, why don't you just go invest in the stock market? I mean, why don't just go try to be Warren Buffett, right? Folks, listen, there's a lot of people that try that game and it doesn't work out well. And there's a lot of people as well that they try the cryptocurrency stove. They put their hand on it. They think that, oh, I know how this is going to work. I got some charts, or, I'm going to get myself some King Shiba or some Bitcoin or some Ethereum, and boom, they get burned on that cryptocurrency stove. If you're at the point in life where you don't want to be burned on the cryptocurrency stove and you just want to enjoy your life and you don't want to gamble in the stock market and find out that, hey, guess what? You just bought the next Enron. All that time you spent reading that annual report, all that stuff you did with looking at their bond ratings, well, congratulations, you just bought the next Enron. Wouldn't it make more sense to buy something that's a real thing, that has real people, instead of doing all this playing around with the mouse? At least with Cork Real Estate Group, you're going to have more fun. All right, so that's how that works. What else? We buy high quality income producing assets. We don't like that development stuff. We don't want to build anything right now. I mean, maybe in a few years we'll think about it, but we want stuff that has income on day one, or that we know we can rent very rapidly after we buy it. But we definitely don't want to try to build a bunch of things at this stage. Maybe in a year or 2 or 3 we'll think about it again, but not right now. Tax benefits, you get all the tax benefits. Pension. Oh, I like that word pension. If you've got a pension and you want more, everybody always wants more. Well, Cork Real Estate Group brings you more. We try to work with these plans. We have experts that will look at your plan and help you with it in terms of figuring out if it works. And of course, you can talk to your own plan administrator, but it's a good idea to check with Cork Real Estate Group. So there's a lot of rules on if you're going to use your pension to do the investing. The nice thing is kind of the main rule on those is you can't be active in the deal. So that's the main thing that comes up is a lot of people, they think, well, I'm going to use my pension fund to go buy some rental properties. Well, you may not be able to do that if you're the one that's the landlord. It's a lot better if you have Cork Real Estate Group be your landlord. And who wants to be a landlord anyway? You older landlords that have spent a lot of years on the phone hearing about the toilet and the roof leaking, or maybe you're one of the smart ones that has a property manager, and instead of hearing from the tenant, you hear from the property manager who calls you about the toilet and the roof leaking. I'm just joking, but you get the idea. So how do you invest? It is simple. We make it simple. Just reach out to us. Go to www.corkrealestategroup.com and just fill out the contact form, and we'll get in touch with you. We try to respond right away, and we can set up a time. We can talk on the phone, on Zoom, by email. We can meet in person. Nothing wrong with meeting in person. We've got all options are available at Cork Real Estate Group. What about if you want your money back early? Well, we have a solution on that, but I wouldn't recommend it. The solution is what's called a matched bargain early release. So if you come to us and you say, hey, listen, I invested in that limited partnership, 50,000 euros, and I want that money back early. I need it back early. Give it back early, please. That is not what we are set up to do. We've already invested the money in a deal. We're using the money. It's not easy to give it back early. But the nice thing about Cork Real Estate Group is instead of just telling you, no, you can't do that, we work and we have a solution called a matched bargain early release. The reason you don't want to do this before 3 years is you run the risk of it might not work out in your favor, but we could talk about that. The better move is to wait the full 3 years when your limited partnership interests are liquid. Okay, so that's how it works. You get to invest in higher quality income producing assets. We're going to buy 100 million in real estate in and around Cork, Ireland. We're going to not go anywhere either. We're going to be there in Cork, Ireland. We're going to get to know the community. Many of our team know the community, but I'm really looking forward to spending some time in Cork, Ireland. You're going to benefit from the economies of scale. You're not going to have to waste your time and your life doing things that are not important. You don't have to go get up on a roof. You don't have to go deal with a contractor. And any of you that have dealt with contractors, they can be challenging from time to time. You get all the benefits. You get none of the work. I mean, it doesn't get any better, folks. If I were you, I would be smart and I would fill out that contact form at Cork Real Estate Group. We love to hear from you. We love to hear from new people. Just reach out, folks. We'll just have a conversation. I hope that helps, and I wish you good luck with your investing.